Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to continue reading SAVITRI by Sri Aurobindo. Pick up where we left off. Canto 2, The Parable of the Search for the Soul. And we're reading from Book 7, the Book of Yoga. As in the vigilance of the sleepless night, through the slow, heavy-footed, silent hours, repressing in her bosom its load of grief, she sat staring at the dumb tread of time, and the approach of ever-nearing fate summons from her being's summit came. A sound, a call that broke the seals of night. Above her brows where will and knowledge met, a mighty voice invaded mortal space. It seemed to come from inaccessible heights, and yet was intimate with all the world, and knew the meaning of the steps of time, and saw eternal destinies changeless seen, filling the far prospect of the cosmic gaze. As the voice touched her body, became a stark and rigid golden statue of motionless trance, a stone of God lit by an amethyst soul. Around her body's stillness all grew still. Her heart listened to its slow, measured beats. Her mind, renouncing thought, heard and was mute. Why camest thou to this dumb, death-bound earth, this ignorant life defeat beneath indifferent skies, tied like a sacrifice on the altar of time? O spirit, O immortal energy, if 'twas to nurse grief in a helpless heart, or with hard, tearless eyes await thy doom, arise, O soul, and vanquish time and death. But Savitri's heart replied in the dim night, my strength is taken from me and given to death. Why should I lift my hands to shut the heavens, or struggle with mute inevitable fate, or hope in vain to uplift an ignorant race who hung their lot and mock the Savior light, and see in mind, wisdom, soul, tabernacle, and its harsh peak and its inconscient base, a rock of safety and an anchor of sleep? Is there a God whom any cry can move? He sits in peace and leaves the mortal's strength impotent against his calm, omnipotent law. And in conscience in the almighty hands of death, what need have I, what need has Satyavan, to avoid the black meshed net, the dismal door, or call a mightier light into life's closed room, or a greater law into man's little world? What should I strive with earth's unyielding laws, or stave off death's inevitable hour? This surely is best to practice with my fate, and follow close behind my lover's steps, and pass through night from twilight to sun, across the tenebrous river that divides the adjoining parishes of earth and heaven. Then could we lie, enarmed breast upon breast, untroubled by thought, untroubled by our hearts, forgetting man and life and time and its hours, forgetting eternity's call, forgetting God. The voice replied, is this enough, O spirit? And what shall thy soul say when it wakes and knows the work was left undone for which it came? Or is this all for thy being born on earth, charged with the mandate from eternity, a listener to thy voices of the years, a follower of the footprints of the gods, to pass and leave unchanged the old dusty laws? Shall there be no new tables, no new word, no greater light come down upon earth, delivering her from her unconsciousness, man's spirit from unfalterable fate? I was just sitting there imagining with my creative faculties how wonderful my life is going to be very soon. It's already wonderful now, but how different my experience is going to be. I was going through the different smells and sights I'll see and touches and things I'll hear, um, different feelings I'll have inside when I have these smells and sights of my new adventures in Oregon, working on a farm, which I've so always wanted to do. It's been my dream my entire life. Ever since I was a kid, I loved putting my hands in dirt, growing gardens with my mom and my grandmother. And then I got a little older, to be like 12, started puffing on the magical Mary Jane, my healing herb, a sacrament, cured me of Tourette syndrome and many other things. Heals me every breath I take. And now, where I am, 44 years, like, I don't know, 11 days in this life, I finally have a chance to go work on a farm, a marijuana farm in Oregon. And I am so excited. I'm going to do everything I can to manifest the best experience, this journey of divine help with divine experiences, divine camaraderie, divine love shared, divine experiences with hands in divine dirt, growing divine plants. It is going to be so, you already know, divine. Victory. Believe that, and it shall be. As a man so thinketh. That's what he do. That's what he is. Anyways, I love you all. Thank you for joining me. We carry on. Keep carrying on. And then carry on some more. A foam of memories hardened and became a bright crust of habitual sense and thought, a seat of living personality. Recurrent habits mimicked permanence. Mindset nascent labeled out a mutable form. It built a mobile house on shifting sands, a floating isle upon a bottomless sea. A conscious being was by this labor made. It looked around it on its difficult field, in the green, wonderful, and perilous earth. It hoped in a brief body to survive, relying on matter's false eternity. It felt a godhead in its fragile house. It saw blue heavens, dreamed immortality, a conscious soul in the inconscious world, hidden behind our thoughts and hopes and dreams, and different masters signing nature's acts. Leaves the vicegerent mind, seeming king. In the floating house upon the sea of time, the regent sits at work and never rests. He is a puppet of the dance of time. He is driven by the hours, the moment's call, compels him with the thronging of life's need and the label of the voices of the world. This mind no silence knows, nor dreamless sleep. In the incessant circling of its steps, thoughts tread forever through the listening brain. It toils like a machine and cannot stop. Into the body's many storied rooms, endless crowd down the dream god's messages. All is hundred-toned murmur and babble and stir. There is a tireless running to and fro, a haste of movement and a ceaseless cry. The hurried servant's senses answer apace. To every knock upon the outer doors, brings in time's visitors, report each call. Admit the thousand queries and the calls, and the messages of communicating minds, and the heavy business of unnumbered lives, and all the thousandfold commerce of the worlds, even in the tracks of sleep and scant repose. He mocks life's steps in strange subconscious dreams. He strays in a subtle realm of symbol scenes. His night with thin air visions and dim forms he packs of peoples with slight drifting shapes, and only a moment spins in silent self. Adventuring into infinite mind space, he unfolds his wings of thought in inner air, or traveling in imagination's car, crosses the globe, journeys beneath the stars, to subtle worlds takes his ethereal course, visits the gods on life miraculous peaks, communicates with heaven, tampers with hell. This is the little surface of man's life. He is this, and he is all the universe. He scales the unseen, his depths dare the abyss. A whole mysterious world is locked within. Unknown to himself, he lives a hidden king, behind rich tapestries in great secret rooms. An epicure of the spirit's unseen joys, he lives on the sweet honey of solitude, a nameless god in an unapproachable fane. In the secret adytum of his inmost soul, he guards the being's covered mysteries. Beneath the threshold, behind shadowy gates, or shut in vast cellars of inconscient sleep, the immaculate divine all wonderful casts into the agent purity of his soul, his splendor and his greatness and the light of self-creation in time's infinity, as in to a sublimely mirroring glass, man in the world's life works out the dreams of God. But all is there, even God's opposites. He is a little front of nature's works, a thinking outline of a cryptic force. All she reveals in him that is in her. Her glories walk in him and her darkness. Man's house of life holds not the gods alone. There are occult shadows, there are tenebrous powers, inhabitants of life's ominous nether rooms, a shadowy world's stupendous denizens, a careless guardian of his nature's powers. Man harbors dangerous forces in his house. The Titan and the Fury and the Jinn lie bound in the subconscious cavern pit, and the beast grovels in his antry den. Dire mutterings rise and murmur in their drowse. Insurgent sometimes raises its huge head. A monstrous mystery lurking in life's deeps, the mystery of dark and fallen worlds, the dread visages of the adversary kings, the dreadful powers held down within the depths, become his master or his ministers. Enormous they invade his bodily house, can act in his acts, infest his thoughts and life. Inferno surges into the human air and touches all with a perverting breath. Gray forces like a thin miasma creep, stealing through chinks in his closed mansion's doors, discoloring the walls of the upper mind in which he lives his fair and spacious life, and leave behind a stench of sin and death. Not only rise in him perverse drifts of thought and formidable formless influences, but there comes presences in awful shapes. Tremendous forms and faces mount dim steps and stare at time into his living rooms, or called up for a moment's passionate work, lay a dire custom's claim upon his heart. Aroused from sleep, they can be bound no more, afflicting the daylight and alarming night, invading at will his outer tenement. The stark glooms, grisly dire inhabitants, mounting into God's light, all light perturbed. All they have touched or seen they make their own in nature's basement lodge. Mind's passages fill, disrupt through links and musing sequences, break through the soul's stillness with a noise and cry. Or they call the inhabitants of the abyss, invite the instincts of forbidden joys, a laughter wake of dread demonic mirth, and with neither riot nor revel shake life's floor, impotent to quell his terrible prisoners. Appall, the householder helpless sits above, taken from his house is his no more. He is found and forced a victim of the play, or elude joys in the mad and mighty din. His nature's dangerous forces have arisen, and hold at will a revel's holiday, aroused from the darkness where they crouched in the depths, prisoned from the sight they can be held no more. His nature's impulses are now his lords. Once quelled or wearing spacious names invest, infernal elements, demon powers are there, Man's lower nature hides these awful guests. Their vast contagion grips sometimes man's world. An awful insurgent overpowers man's soul. In house and house the huge uprising grows. Hell's companies are loosed to do their work. Into the earth ways they break out from all doors, invade with bloodlust and the will to slay, and fill with horror and carnage God's fair world. Death and his hunters stalk a victim earth. The terrible angel smites at every door. An awful laughter mocks at the world's pain, and massacre and torture grim in heaven. All is the prey of the destroying force. Creation rocks and tremble top and base. This evil nature housed in human hearts, a foreign inhabitant, a dangerous guest. The soul that harbors it can dislodge, expel the householder, possess the house. The opposite potency contradicting God. A momentary's evil almightiness has straddled the straight path of nature's acts. It imitates the Godhead it denies, puts on his figure and assumes his face. A Manichean creator and destroyer. This can abolish man, annul his world. But there is a guardian power. There are hands that save, calm eyes, divine regard, the human scene. Always remember to bless your water. The highest intents to do whatever, change your DNA, heal sickness. I say healing, love, and light with all my water. You just let it do its thing for the highest good. All parties involved. Tastes so good. So I want to talk real quick about manifestation and how it seems to be playing out in my life in these recent days. So I'm in Houston, Texas, and I have a business doing something here that I've always known I could do much easier close to the source. Hearts Herbal Extract Labs. We get work done here. I've for the last year and a half, I've been making concentrates, herbal extracts, all sorts. I love it. I taught myself all the organic chemistry, the science behind light hydrocarbon extractions. Bought all my equipment. Got into it serious, and I love it. It's so neat to me to be able to take the trim, the byproduct, the biomass, the leftover trash, and turn it to treasure. Something so healing, with so much potency, so much love I make it with. However, I've hit some snags in Houston, being that it's still not a legal market. So I've put out to the universe to create the best possible opportunity for my advancement of not only myself, my soul, my heart, my ability to love and experience and love with others and share, but also my business and my monetary needs. I need to grow this business, and I hit some snags here in Houston due to its legalities. I'm not willing to get out there and put myself out there in a legal sense like I used to back in the days when I was young. I've realized that, becoming wiser and older, that I got the process figured out. I got the love and light. I see the dream. It's in me. I know what I need to do to get close to the bag. So I put it out to the universe to get me a job working on a farm, preferably in Oregon, because I've never been. I hear beautiful things about it. I've been envisioning it, talking it into existence. So like this, for instance, me documenting it, me bringing you along on my journey while reading this amazing love story, SAVITRI. It's all part of my creation tactics, my alchemizing it into reality from the higher realms, because I know I've done the inner work. Love and light, all one. I've done the inner work for long years, all alone, going into self and clearing the shadows, doing the shadow work, making friends with them, making them divine aspects of myself, not things to be ashamed of and have to hide behind, call blame, whatever. I've turned those into divine aspects of oneself. because everything is divine. That being said, I'm using all my positive faculties, energy, and forming this reality to where I can exist in the very near future, meaning if not tomorrow, in the next week or so, I'll be in Oregon, feet on the ground. Reality starting to form around me in 3D. For now, I sit still, breathe, know love already won. God, the Father, God the Mother, will take care of the Son and let him shine. Give him the proper arena, the proper stage to set up and be refulgent with light and shine with love for everybody's benefit, because we're all one. That being said, I'm going to cut this video off there. We'll continue back on with the Book of Yoga, Canto 2, the Parable of the Search for Soul, line 300. But y'all think about it. What is it that y'all's hearts desire? What steps do y'all need to take to make it to that place where you can put your dreams, put your hands around that clay and let your higher mind speak with your rest of your as one and project that lump of clay into your sphere, your existence, your world, how you see it fit. I'm tingly all over. Thank you for sharing this time with me, everyone. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I love you all so much. Love myself as well. Victory to the divine light. Love already won. Believe that. Todos somos uno. Muy bien. I'll be right back reading some more.